people want to get to the root and understand what makes them tick so they can better themselves, they see a therapist, because these professionals are trained experts that can help them unpack what's not working or holding them back. When people want to improve their relationship with money and build a strong economic future, they hire experts such as Donna LaScala, president of Comprehensive Divorce Solutions. Among her credentials, Donna is a registered financial consultant, a certified divorce financial analyst, co-president of the Association of Divorce Financial Planners, member of the board of directors of the New York State Council on Divorce Mediation, and a member of the Association of Collaborative Professionals. Donna, welcome.
So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, why are fear, lack, and loss the emotional triggers that prevent people from making the right financial decisions for their family during and after a divorce?
So, money is very logical. You earn it, you spend it, you invest it. It's a barter system. However, understanding behavioral finance, which is an existing economic theory that ascribes the irrational behavior of individuals making financial choices to psychological factors or biases. It's very important for every decision involving money to understand this concept. So now you come to divorce, where emotions are running higher than at possibly any other time in your life. This knowledge becomes crucial. Because additionally, expert negotiators will tell you that operating from a position of fear, feelings of not having enough, or losing your financial stability will put people on their heels. And this is definitely not the position you want to be in, because you should always try to negotiate from a position of strength, or at the very least, from a position of equal footing. So understanding what your psychological triggers or biases are towards money is very important as a first step when you're entering divorce.
Why does a person's childhood relationship with money affect their adult life when it comes to how they spend, save, and invest?
So we all know that kids are sponges. They learn things when we're not even aware that they're learning them. They listen, they watch the adults in their lives. It's also a well-known fact that your idea about money forms before you hit double-digit ages. So it's those single-digit ages where kids are listening and just taking everything in. And these ideas that form when you're in those single digits, they stick with you for the rest of your life. They're in like your reptilian brain, in the back there. They're just embedded. So being aware of this can really help you and the financial professionals that you work with form a plan that works for you and your unique perspective. So let me give you an example from a very personal nature. So my dad was a business owner, but he lost his business due to economics and other factors when I was around 8 years old. And my mother had to go back to work full time. So now I had two older sisters that were significantly older than me. They were twins. And then there was a sister that was a few years older than me. And this event had a profound effect on my sister and I that were only a couple years apart, which was completely different than the reality of our two eldest siblings. So this sister and I have what I would call an inherent bias towards loss and lack, because our economic situation as a family changed significantly. Now, we joke about this because it's one of the reasons that we both love buying shoes. And we have a lot of them because it turned out that because of this situational change in our family economics, we only got 3 pairs of shoes a year. We got a pair of shoes for school, we got a pair of sneakers for gym, and we got a pair of shoes for church and like holidays. So the reason behind my kind of, Imelda Marcos obsession with shoes really goes back to this formative situation in my childhood. And understanding that this is the reason behind my pattern of spending, saving, or ultimately investing money is very enlightening. This childhood story that we tell ourselves has a great deal to do with our resulting adult money behavior.
What are some examples of financial considerations people need to know when they're going through a divorce?
So, expanding on this whole idea, the differences that people have in their money behavior is usually one of the factors that can ultimately lead to divorce. Because if I'm triggered by loss and lack of, and my spouse is all about abundance, that's a very different perspective that each of us are coming at the decisions that need to be made about money. So these differences continue to play themselves out during the divorce process. Becoming clear on what is most important to you will help you be able to move forward. So, for example, are you a person who worries more about cash flow, or are you somebody that worries about future retirement? If yes, if you're worried about current cash flow, then opting for more financial support currently is probably what's going to motivate you versus a possible larger share of the cumulative retirement assets, because you're thinking about the here and now versus the future. Is the house that you live in the thing that draws a line in the sand for you? So before you answer that question, you need to analyze if A, you have the income to maintain that house, and B, you have the financial ability to either assume the mortgage and or buy out your other spouse. But that's a logical path. The emotional part of it is losing your home. And you have to identify that as the motivating factor. Do you have your own retirement accounts or a future pension? Is this your make or break point? I've earned it. I've worked so hard for it. I cannot give it up. You then get to a point where you understand what you're willing to negotiate for and where you have to draw the line in that conversation.
As a certified divorce financial analyst, what tools do you give clients to help them move forward from a divorce? And some people do get, in a lot of financial trouble, maybe because they have to give a lot of money over or the divorce cost a lot more than they budgeted for. So they can have a healthy relationship as they move forward onto their new path.
Well, there are a lot of questions that I ask my clients right from the get-go. One of them is to find out if they're the bigger earner in the marriage, if they've been the one in control of the finances, if they understand more about what's going on in the marriage financially than their spouse. Then I ask them this question: what does money mean to you? The answer is different for everyone, but it gives me a clue into identifying their triggers and also understanding their position financially in their history. But I also talk to people about the difference between want and need. And because we've become a very immediate gratification, delayed reaction society, we use credit cards, we use debit cards, we really have no concept about the cash flow, the money in, the money out. So the first thing I always talk about is having some sort of method, whether it's writing it down, whether it's using a spreadsheet, whether it's using some online app or tool, to get a better handle on your cash flow. What's coming in, what's going out. This is the first tool that really needs to be put into place for people to have a successful relationship with money going forward. Because once you're in touch with your own personal reality, but you also have an understanding of where you're coming from, what your perspective is, and what your experience has been, then you know how to move forward, and the professional that you're working with can really help you put together a plan that's going to be right for you and your uniqueness. And then you can go forward in a successful manner.
Why can using apps such as Venmo, Zelle, or PayPal limit us from having a healthy relationship with money?
Because it's a very impersonal relationship. It's kind of like the anonymity that people get when they're on social media. You might not necessarily say something to somebody when they're right in front of you, but you might feel a little bit more comfortable doing it on an app. It's the same thing with money. Well, I'm just pressing this button here. I'm just sending this money. I'm, not really touching it, feeling it. It's not real as it is when it's in your hand and you have to hand it over and get change back and understand pluses and minuses. It's a lot easier when it's on an app or it's a credit card or any other kind of third-party, once removed relationship with money. And you also don't keep track of it the same way you would as when you open up your wallet and go, uh-oh, it's empty. So it's a very different relationship.
So if a person wants to have a healthy relationship with their money, especially if they're rebuilding from a divorce, I'm assuming it starts with the basics. How does a person take that first step, and what do they need to do?
Well, the first thing you really need to do is hire a professional to help you, because the professional can really kind of cut through a lot of the emotional stuff that's blocking you by helping you see the reality of your situation and focusing you on the facts of the matter and what's doable and what's not. It's a lot easier for me as a professional financial neutral in a divorce situation to say to you, okay, look, I understand that everyone wants to keep the marital home, but let's look at the dollars and cents of it and get a better understanding of what's possible. I remember sitting down with a woman who said to me, I don't want to move out of my neighborhood, but she knew she had to give up the marital home. So we went through all the online services that show you what's available in rent, what's available to purchase, all of these different scenarios. And I went through it step by step with her, literally holding her hand through the process to help her understand what this reality was all about. When you deal with a professional, you go to a doctor, you go to a mental health professional. I'm a financial professional. I can bring the tools. I can give you the hard medicine to take to help you understand where you are and where you need to be and how to get there.
And is it easy to learn? I mean, everybody loves spending it, but actually learning it.
Well, there's a lot of blocks that have to be removed in your brain as far as, can I do this? So many people come to me and go, I can't do this. I've never handled money in my life. And I show them one baby step at a time. Yeah, you can do this and you will do this. But having the right people around you, the right professionals to help you, will make all the difference in your success going forward. And also your willingness to be open to learning new things. You have to be open to learning something new and have the confidence to be able to do it.
One thing we want to learn is your contact information so people can learn more about you and having a great relationship with their wallet.
Well, you can reach me at 516-234-7522, and you can find me online on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Donna LaScala, and it's Comprehensive Divorce Solutions.
Donna LaScala, President of Comprehensive Divorce Solutions, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere, because we will be right back where we're going to talk about a new movement going forward to teach people more about money so even the younger generation can survive and thrive.
At Comprehensive Divorce Solutions, Donna LaScala provides the tools for people to deal with assets, debts, equitable distribution, and retirement in divorce negotiations. We hold your hand during and after the divorce process, providing a roadmap of what happens next and into the future. Divorce is difficult whether you're initiating it or not. It's fraught with emotion. When you deal with emotions, you are not dealing with logic, making it more difficult to decide what to do with your money. Hiring a professional to assist you in walking down the money path is crucial to avoiding potentially costly mistakes. Donna's goal is to make sure that each individual knows how they are going to be able to survive and thrive during and after divorce. As a CDFA trained mediator and collaborative financial neutral, Donna helps people get unstuck and move forward towards their post-divorce future. Call Donna LaScala at 516-218-6919, 516-218-6919.